Great, morning guys, welcome to day 3 of week 4 of the Guildford City Fitness live stream. Thanks for sharing all your results on Facebook and Twitter and everything else again for the challenges. Today's one's a little bit simpler, which means the bodyweight session has to be a little bit harder. So we're going to get straight into warm-up number 2 today. So you're going to start with a couple of new ones, beginning with the squat to hip lift. So make sure you've had a drink, make sure your warm-up area is nice and clear. The only kit you're going to need for today's session is a chair or something to help you get through the incline press-ups. Other than that, it's just space. So make sure you've got that sorted, ready to go. And then if I say it now, I won't forget at the end, make sure you're free at 6 o'clock tonight to watch Kate's talk on motivation from session to session. So, clear area, we're going to start the warm-up with squat to hip lift. So, you're going to get going, all you do is squat down. Once you get to the bottom, touch your toes, lift your hips into the air, try and keep your back straight. And then you just switch from squat basically into a straight leg position. So 3, 2, 1, go. So 6 of those, squat down. What you should find is that by the time you get to the last one, that straight leg position just becomes a little bit easier. Again, as you do it, make sure you're maintaining that flat back position. You can make sure as you go down, if you want, pull yourself into a deeper position with straight back. And then from here, you're going to go angry cat, happy cat. So again, 6 reps of each. Uniform curve all along your spine. Breathe in at the bottom, breathe out at the top. Try and get as much range as you can. Okay, that's number 2. So then we're going to go into 20 seconds of jogging before we move on to the next part of the warm-up. Stand up again. 3, 2, 1, go. So again, nothing fantastic, just start getting your heart rate up. A couple of aerobic variations. Okay, relax. Then again, you've got 6 reps of reverse lunge and rotate. So we're going to do 3 on each side. So reverse lunge from the high knee position into a lunge, and then rotate. So arms across chest, hips facing forward, get as far back as you can. Go 3, knees to floor. And then switch over. Just make sure, so me first I prefer rotating over the lead leg because it makes my hip feel more stable. Again, reversing backwards just means you've got to think a bit more about your coordination. Okay, then you go from that into streamlined hinge. So basically an RDL for those that know. So you're just going to sit back as far as you can, but as you do, you're going to hold the streamline position. So start streamline. And just make sure that as you go down, you keep hold of it. So keep your wrists behind your ears and your nose. Then we'll go for jogging again. So another jog in 3, 2, 1, go. And as usual, we'll finish off the warm-up with a 1-minute jog with a couple of high knee sprints thrown in. Okay, relax. And then 2 classics, so floor or wall slides, and then shoulder rolls. So again, I prefer wall slides if you can do them. Much more challenging. Feet off the floor, hold your core position. Slide your hands overhead. into that eye position. I'm trying to create a really long streamline. And make sure you get as much movement at your shoulder blades as you can, rather than just sliding your wrists and elbows up and down. And then shoulder rolls. 6. I'm going to kneel to fit in the camera. Make sure your core and your hips are tight. You're going to start with your thumbs turned down to the ground. Go up over your head. Once you get up past your ears, turn them out the other way. The thumbs go out, in here, out of the top. So 3 one way, and then you're going to go backwards. 3. But again, just really make sure that you turn out. So you're trying to create as much range at the shoulder as you can. And all the time, holding that hip and core position. There. Okay, then 1 minute job to finish. 3, 2, 1, go. So we're just going to throw in a couple of high knees. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Back to jogging, so there's a few more of those. Okay, and again, in 2, 1, go. So not enough to tire you, just enough to get your heart rate higher. And 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, time for one more. Last 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go. Relax. So you're going to make sure you've had a drink. I'll run through part 1 of the session, and then I'll explain part 2 in the rest between them. So, we're starting as a whole body circuit. So you're going to start with incline press ups. So just because it makes it's a slightly easier variation, hits your chest slightly hard, differently. So, elevated surface, same body position. If you can, make sure you've got something behind you to stabilise. So I can't really win because then this becomes unstable. If with my feet, to make sure if you're in socks on a wooden floor or something, that you've got something behind you, or have someone stand there. So then you have 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off for all these, with a brief rest at the end of the circuit. We move on to round 2, round 3. After that, you've got hollow hold. So on the floor, shoulders up, heels off the ground. Try and hold this for 45 seconds. Just keep your lower back pressed into the floor. Then we move on to glute bridge marches. So hips up, heels are slightly further away from your body than your knees are. Toes off the ground, so up onto 2 feet. And you're just going to switch from one foot to the other. Priority is to stop your hips from dropping. So the whole time, try to keep them facing the ceiling. I think you can make it more challenging by moving your feet away, but I'll demonstrate when we get there. And then finish off the round with normal squats. So just stand up, top to bottom, 45 seconds. So last chance to get a drink. Like I said, those 4 exercises, then a little break. Repeat again, little break, repeat one last time, and then I'll explain part 2. So, had a drink, we're going to get going. Less than 10 seconds, make sure you're ready for the push-ups. Surface where you need it to be. And one will go in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So I was always more interested in quality of reps than quantity. So make sure as you go down, you're not sticking your hips back. Keep your body nice and straight from head to heel. If you have a wider surface, if you need a wider surface, sorry, have a look at what you've got. If that's not going to do it, just go onto your knees and pick a harder variation so you can go kneeling wide. Just make sure that your elbows always go behind you. 2, 1. Done with press ups. So 15 seconds off and you want a hollow hold. Down on your back. Ready to go. In 3, 2, 1, go. So again, you're trying to keep your feet just off the floor. Point your toes. Ideally hands off the ground, palms up to the ceiling. If you want to make it a streamline hollow, more than welcome to try that, as long as your shoulders are up rather than here, because that's more just like holding the bottom of a leg lower. If you're struggling to find that lower back position, you can do the same thing, but just find the tipping point. So if you start here and that's okay, and you go a bit further, and your stomach lifts up, just stick with this until you can finish a whole round of it. So 3, 2, 1, relax. So glute bridge marches, you're going to stay on the ground. But again, just start thinking about how you're going to find the optimal position for your feet to get the best out of the session. 2, 1, go. So start with a normal glute bridge. Start switching your feet. And again, you don't have to go very far. Just keep your hands on your hips so you can check how much they're dropping. So if you go from this onto the other leg and your hips fall, it's much better to just do a hold instead of a march. So get like 5 seconds here, go back onto 2, and then just try and hold that 5 seconds instead of trying to switch between. So that's 5 seconds of the round. You can try and get creative, go a little bit further away. And relax. And squats to finish. So again, everyone knows them, but not everyone does them as well as they can. So it's much more important when we go in 3, 2, 1, go, that you're able to make sure that you've got full depth on every rep. This isn't the sort of thing where at a certain point you might need coaching, but because you know them so well, you might lose a bit of concentration. So arm position doesn't matter, but if you need to use a wall to make sure that your back isn't rounding, so if I do a bad one, squat, and then round to get too deep, just stop there where your back's straight. Just concentrate on that. 3, 2, 1, relax. So short rest. So again, it's only half the length of the full session you did before when you got a rest, but each section is more concentrated because we're trying to maintain that intensity. We know it's going to have a bigger impact on trying to maintain your fitness and try and reduce the impact of detraining. So have a quick drink. So less than 10 seconds to go. Back into incline. So if you are using a table and you need cushioning, make sure you've got one of those ready as well. In 3, 2, 1, go. Just again, double checking your foot position. If you start to slip, just readjust slightly. Don't take too much time off. As you push, make sure your elbows stay in tight so that when you do push, you don't drift out and you keep all that work being done by your triceps. Back of your arm. So, couple reps left. 2, 1, stop. Into hollow hold. And 2, 1, go. So again, the ultimate priority here is for you to try and hold a static position. If your lower back starts to change, just reduce your body length. So there's a lot of people that I've seen, they can manage that for a quick reps. If you think about when you're doing dead bugs, people can hold that. But this is about creating that static strength, which is pretty much going to help you more in the middle of the pool on long course. So this has to just stay straight no matter what. You can concentrate more on hand and arm position. So if you need to go here to finish the round, that's fine, because it means this is going to get strong in the way you want it to. Relax. Glute bridge marches. And the same with the glute bridge marches. The whole time you're up here, the important thing is that your hips don't move, no matter what happens with your legs. 3, 2, 1, go. So it's more important you concentrate on strength from here to here than it is to try and get creative with your foot position or to be lazy and just lift your feet for the sake of it. So every time a foot comes off, try and concentrate on hip position. If you have to go flat foot, that's fine. A couple of seconds static hold. If I go side on. The last 10 seconds. Finish on an even number. 3, 2, 1, relax. Into the squats again. So the last exercise of part 2, of round 2, sorry. So 3, 2, 1, go. So if you want to increase the challenge, you can go for constant motion. So if you've got a watch on, go down and up every second. Rather than standing up, you get more reps done because your muscles are in constant motion. It means that you're going to get the benefits of doing the slow reps and the fast reps. So you've got another 6 seconds till the end of round 2, part 1. And relax. So again, quick 30-second break. Again, start thinking about all the things that Ellen and Kate have covered in their talks about building routines and creating ownership. So if you need to change now to an easier version, this is the time to do it so you get a solid attempt on a complete round. 3, 2, 1, go. Again, you might find these easier too if you go from a narrow base to a wide base. So have your feet just outside your shoulders. Which to me is not cheating if it means you can concentrate more on how much work your upper body's doing. So it will feel a bit easier, but it means you're just thinking about this. Relax. So hollow hold. Three, 2, 1, go. This will be much easier if you just start hard and then slowly break it down. So if I go from here, hands away, and then bend your knees and hold for a few seconds. Bend them again, hold for a few seconds. A little bit closer. And the whole time, no matter what I've done with my arms and legs, this hasn't changed position. And just make sure that when you get your shoulders up,
you're pulling from your core, not lifting your neck. So especially when you get tired, you're going to start to lift your chin up more. All you're going to do is strain your neck muscles. That's going to have a big impact in terms of your neck mobility. So thinking about turning to breathe over time. You get much stronger at this exercise. You start to lose mobility around here. Relax, which you do not want. Again, it's one of the caveats. It's the part of the double-edged sword of doing all this extra land training is that you might start to lose little bits and pieces that you weren't thinking about. So always make sure that if you're going to co-exercise, all the work's done here. 2, 1, go. Just wants to finish off. Again, to make sure that you're not compromising your lower back. Even if you have to hold, so go down, hold for a couple of seconds, and back up again, just so as to reinforce that pattern. So that eventually you'll be able to get all the way down with a straight back without support. There's 10 more seconds. Use the chair. It's a good way to teach you. Pushing your knees out with your elbows. Relax. So it's a good way to mix up hard muscular work with a bit of skill acquisition and motor control. So you get a minute and a half rest now. Make sure you take a drink. I'll explain part 2, which I've listed as aerobic conditioning. So again, for the last 3 weeks, every session's had maybe a little bit like a jump, a push, a pull, something where you had to hold a position, something where you're trying to make a rotation, but now we've divided it up. So the next 4 exercises in part 2 are all going to be aerobically focused around aerobic conditioning. So it's going to be harder to do, but when you start to recover, it's going to be aerobic adaptations, hopefully, as long as you're recovering properly and eating all the right stuff. So it means if you didn't want to go for a run today because you're feeling a bit beat up, you've still done a similar kind of work, so you can keep that ball rolling. Exercise 1, you've got mountain climbers. So you've got 45 seconds of mountain climbers. So again, hands sort of at the part, make sure you're pushing down, and just make sure that you're on one foot, other one in the air. Pace, not so fast about. As long as you're constantly doing that motion, and if it's too difficult, you can go incline, and beyond that, you can just do high knees. So you want to go from that then to a 15-second gap, and then lunge to high knee. So reverse lunge, like that. And then we'll switch sides halfway through. Exercise number 3, you're going to go star jumps. So again, kind of aerobic filler. So you're going to maintain your heart rate for a little bit longer, and then finishing with burpees. So by the end of it, you'll have done 3 and 3/4 minutes of aerobic conditioning with a 30-second break. And by the end of it, you should be really starting to sweat and get out of puff. So last chance for a drink. We're going to go with mountain climbers. So 3, 2, 1, let's go. So again, making sure you've got a flat back position to work from. Keep your belly button tight into your spine. About halfway back through, round number 1. Make sure you're looking at the floor so your head's neutral. Okay, 5 seconds. 2, 1, relax. 15 off, lunge into high knee. 20 seconds on one side, 20 seconds on the other. And 3, 2, 1, go. So whichever side you want to start on. Just again, focusing on body position, so you're up nice and tall. And then the up bit comes from driving through your back foot. Switch sides, so down, big push here, into that static high knee position. So exercising body control and hip drive. Last 10 seconds. Relax. So almost a little bit of single leg work there with coordination. And you're going into star jumps. In 3, 2, 1, go. So as you go through these, make sure your feet are about hip width apart. Make sure your toes turn out slightly and your knees follow them. Let your hands cross overhead. Gonna practice some skips as well, or bunny hops. Got another 10 seconds left before you finish the round of the mountain climbers. 3, 2, 1. Relax. You finished on burpee, sorry, no mountain climbers. 10 seconds left. Again, make sure you get quality rather than quantity. So 2, 1, go. Drop down. So prioritize foot to hand speed with a proper jump at the end. So you gain a lot more during this part if you concentrate on the jump rather than just falling down and rushing. Time for a few more. 3, 2, 1. Relax. 30 seconds off. Back to the start. So again, if you want to go incline mountain climbers, you've got 10 seconds left. This makes it a little bit easier, but you're still practicing the same pattern. Still holding your core. In 3, 2, 1, go. So again, same position. Make sure your surface is stable. So every time you put your foot down, it's in the same place. But it still means you have to hold that core position instead of rounding your back and doing that. "15 seconds left. Make sure you're looking forward. Neutral neck. 2, 1, relax. So you got lunge into high knee. If you want to try alternating, have a look, see how it feels. So, a few seconds, lunge into high knee, in 2, 1, go. So start with high knee, up, switch. So again, just make sure you've got an even push between the front foot and the back foot. Makes it a lot easier. Make sure you alternate your hand position as well. So left knee up, right hand forward, switch to the bottom, right knee up, left hand forward, switch, couple more, 2, 1, relax, and then burpees to finish the round.
3, 2, 1, go. So again, still thinking about body position. So jump into streamline. That little bounce just helps me regain my control. So up. That means I can land into a squat. Hands down. Push up plank. Feet forward and then jump. So 10 seconds left. Relax. 30 seconds off. One more time round. When you're mountain climbers, you start to feel like you're getting more work done around your shoulder from stabilising your body. Just go with high knees for round 3. 2, 1, go. So in essence, same thing, less core control, less scap stability, more lungs. Just make sure your knees come up to the height of your hips. So it's not the same as jogging on the spot. Last 10 seconds. And relax into lunge and high knee. In 3, 2, 1, go. Challenge now is to try and maintain that same level of explosiveness so it doesn't become a slow and lazy movement. Knee down, up quick, control down, make sure you stay tall on both legs. Even if you have to pause, it still means you're going to develop the muscles you want to in the way that you want to. 2, 1, relax. Burpees to finish off, 15 seconds more rest. Three, 2, 1, go. So again, make it reactive, bouncing. Couple of bounces, and then go. And go. Last 15 seconds. Five. Oh. Yeah. Relax. Good job, guys. Again, not designed to be easy, that one.
I've got someone asking, is there no star jumps?
Oh, I forgot the side jumps. Technically, it should be a minute and a half then. So you can sort of see how I'm blowing out now. Less height on the skips. So you're right, I missed them on the second line too.
So I'm going to go for a minute and a half. About 20 seconds left. Ten. 2, 1, relax. Thanks for the reminder. Oh, less than fun going for like 5 minutes. But again, you can see why we've broken it up with the rest that we have. So make sure if you're outside, you walk around so your heart rate recovers before you stop to do your cool down. Make sure your breathing's gone back to normal. Make sure you grab the drink. Then grab your left quad. 3, 2, 1, go. So I've got my tape measure handy to go through today's challenge. And tight core. Quads are going to feel tight from all the running and squatting. Relax and switch. Just make sure again that despite that, you don't let it drift forward. Use your hip, squeeze it like a glute bridge to bring it back in line. And again, don't be tempted to pull more. If you need to get more stretch, get it from your hips. So again, that's just something that you can practice, getting hip engagement. Because again, if you can engage your hips while your ankles up, it's just going to give you more range on your kick, more range on your upbeat, and then more power on your kick. Switch sides, hamstring stretch. It's a block position. 3, 2, 1, go. Again, hands off leg, straight back. And then try and sink your weight back behind your heel. So as long as, again, you're feeling it between your knee and your hip on that front leg. Especially challenging after you've done conditioning work, because everything's going to start to tighten and shut down. And relax. It's so important to be able to find the positions that you want under the constraints you've got. Go. So being able to find the right positions while you're tired is only going to help you find them faster when you're fresh. So we're going to think about the end of a week of competition. This would have been trials this week. So those of you that were going to compete at the start of the week and then train and then finish up finals at the end of the week, you're going to start to lose that position on the blocks. There's a good chance to practice looking perfect when you're tired. Not this tired, but it's still a degree of fatigue that's going to impede you. Relax. Pigeon stretch, or bend the arm across. So on your back, 2, 1, go. So today's going to be very hippy for me instead of lower back. So make sure you grab your knee and pull it up towards the opposite shoulder. Making sure that the other leg is straight and relaxed all the way all the time. If you don't quite feel it, just pull the knee a bit higher. And relax. Again, make sure you feel it in the muscle that you want to, just so long as your chest is always flat down. 2, 1, go. Again, breath control is going to be really important for this as well. So the more you can increase that stretch while you're breathing normally, the quicker you're going to relax. Okay, stop there for hip. Into lat. So 3, 2, 1, go. So we go normal, belly button stays between knees, reach over to one side, and make sure that your elbow goes over the opposite knee. So you see here, my elbow should be just over rather than shoulder, because if you go shoulder, you're just leaning and not stretching. If you want more stretch, try and get your fingers away from where your shoulder sits normally. The further away you get it, the more stretch you'll feel. And from there, push your chest down to the ground. And switch sides. And even without the pulling, if you can push your chest down closer, it's just going to again increase the distance between one end of your lat and the other one. So from here, I could go out more, but if you push down, it changes both ends, so it's a more uniform stretch. Into chest to finish. So again, breath control, probably the most important part of this. Because you'll find if you concentrate on taking maybe 10 deep breaths as you hold the stretch, you'll just start to relax naturally. So again, those that haven't tried it, it actually feeds a lot into, I'm sure if you ask one of our talented sports science team, if you want to try and link up imagery or scripts or positive self-talk, if you link that to breathing and stretching, you can rehearse both whilst getting a physiological adaptation as well. So you're here, you want to start reflecting on training, reflecting on your session. Close your eyes and breathe while you think about it. And then relax. So again, you're predicating your stretch time on breathing, on number of breaths. So again, you can rehearse skill stuff, nutrition things, anything you want. It just means that the stretch takes care of itself and you're not so actively focused on it, and you'll actually make that transition from work to rest a little bit faster. So that's it for that session. And hopefully you can see there a bit more of a focus on the aerobic side of things in a much shorter time frame, much quicker turnaround, but it means that it's far more concentrated and then the intensity stays that much higher. So, challenge today, I don't know why I've got a chair, because I need to explain how to set up a jump test. So, a little bit simpler than normal. All you're going to do, get a measuring tape, set it out. So if I go through broad jump, my ceiling's not very high. So I'm sure you've all done this at school. Get your tape out, set it to about as far as you think you can jump. Make sure you do the normal warm up. So for me, I'll set this up. I'm going to shorten my jump just to make the video work. So flatten the floor, make sure it's straight. You're going to start with your toes behind at the zero. So if you want to mark that out, make sure, again, the important thing here, guys, is that the jump area is clear and that you've warmed up properly to get the best result. The toes behind there, you jump as far forward as you can and mark from the heel. So I'll do one forward, I'll probably go out of shot. So stand tall, you drop back down into a squat, and you have to stick the landing. So sorry, can you zoom down? So if you look where my foot landed, the score is where my heel got to. So just make sure you stick it. It's really important for the purpose of this test that you're able to stick it.
Because it shows us how good you are at that. And it's really important to be able to pull that off.
So we know that you don't hurt yourself. So again, if I just jump into shot.
The landing position, so jump like that, feet are flat, your weight's balanced. You're not going to jump as far as you would if you just went nuts for it. But because it's April, there will come a time in May once you've rehearsed this that we want to see how far you can get just with a free jump. But for now, that's stick position. So you jump forward and hold it before you get someone to measure it for you. Go for a best of 3. Write all 3 of them down so we can see your average, so we know how consistent you are. If you keep improving every time, take another one. So if you get an improvement of more than 5 per jump, then just go until you've hit your limit, and then take the best 3. And same for vertical jump. So with a vertical, you might have to get a post-it note, or some chalk, or something just to mark the wall. Again, maybe go outside the house instead of doing it inside. So if you go, put your hand up against the wall. If you haven't got a tape that's going to reach far enough, your best bet here is to put a post-it note where your fingertips reach to. So I put one about here, just there. You do the jump high as you can and try and mark the wall again. If you get the post-it on, you then mark the difference between the two and then add them together. So if you're standing height, so if that was about 2 meters, and then you managed to jump up and slap 2.5 meters, then that would be, your jump height would be 50 centimeters. So that's how high you managed to get from one to the next. I haven't played with it, let us know how you get on. Again, the club in general, we've been talking about how if things go really well, we could be ready to go back in the water at a minute's notice. So the land training program is going to take a shift from conditioning and aerobic conditioning and body weight control into the more athletic qualities like jumping, explosive power, and that sort of thing. So we've shifted the challenges this week to try and get you guys to think about that a little bit more. So it's good to have these numbers in your head to see how you're managing the training. That's why it's not too difficult and we're not being too stringent on it. If you haven't got measuring tapes, again, just make it up. So if you've got like something, if you want to get someone to lie down with their hands over their head and you know you're getting further each time, you know for your benefit that you're improving. And then if we see that when we get back, it doesn't matter, we know that you did the best you could while we were all away from the water. So, same thing, record the best 3. If you keep improving, then keep trying. It's not too taxing compared to some of the other challenges. But again, let us know by sharing online, email them to us, or just keep them for yourself, and then you'll have a training diary to look back on. Tonight's talk with Kate at 6 PM again, so looking at motivation, make sure you're there, and if you're not, watch it on YouTube. But I think that's it from me today, and then from everyone at Guildford to all of you at home watching, thanks for being with us.